So now if you have invested or you're interested in investing, what do you do now? Is there a long winter in sight for crypto assets? To speak on this, I'm joined by two people who track it very closely. I think are believers in crypto. Ajeet Khurana and Naimish Sanghvi are with us on the show. Welcome to both of you and thank you for speaking with us on Beyond the Headline. Ajeet, let's begin with you explaining what really is happening. Why the battering of crypto assets and digital tokens over the last couple of days?
So I think that while it is obvious that there are going to be multiple factors that affect any market move, but we don't have to go much far behind. We just have to go to about March, April, May of 20, which is almost exactly 2 years ago, when markets were suffering from the early onslaught of COVID. One of the things that major central bankers did, especially the US central banker, was to inject a lot of liquidity in the system then and in the many months following this. Because crypto markets are even more sensitive to liquidity in the market compared to even equity markets, we took the token price, let's say Bitcoin price, up from around 8,500 to all the way up to 64,000 in a year, that is up to April 21. So the same liquidity that was injected and caused the hike, well, with the Federal Reserve raising 50 basis points for the first time in 2 decades, has been sucked out of the markets. Crypto markets have fallen far more exaggeratedly than stock markets, doing exactly the mirror image of what we saw 24 months ago. I think that is the primary factor. There are, of course, other factors.
Yeah. Naimish, what is the way forward right now? I mean, for Indian crypto investors, it's all a series of bad news, isn't it? The latest reports are suggesting there might be an additional GST now on crypto, apart from the 30% tax and the 1% TDS, which will hit from July. Plus, the value of the underlying asset is dropping. What is the way forward in your view?
I think the way forward has always been to find the right investment that you want to do and do it in smaller chunks and not taking too much of a risk of your capital. That has been the advice from before, and that should remain the advice going into the future. And I certainly believe that a lot of people who've been burned in this crash will learn that the hard way. But in like any markets, crypto markets also go up and down. There are swings. The swings are larger, as we can see, compared to a traditional regulated market. But the fundamentals remain the same. If you believe in an asset, it's advisable to dollar cost average or SIP into it, have a systematic investment plan into it, rather than doing a lump sum investment. So that should be the case. Regarding taxes, I believe that, at the end of the day, you will be paying taxes on the profit, the income tax, so should not hamper much. And regarding the GST, we can still say that the jury is out on that one because it is still from a source and we don't know anything from the official sources.
Naimish, but just 1 second, Naimish. Today, one second, Naimish. But today, you're advising people to invest in crypto with an SIP, that's a systematic investment plan, like you do in equity via mutual funds. Is that really a good idea in an underlying asset which is so volatile, so unstable, considering a lot of investors don't know what this asset is all about? Is this entire incident not, displaying the volatility and riskiness of crypto?
Absolutely, Tamanna. See, you see it from today's crashes perspective. I've been in the industry for 5 years, so I have seen a couple more crashes than you. And Ajeet has been around since 2013, so he's seen more crashes than us. And every time, in fact, the volatility, if you compare it, it has reduced. We could see a crash in markets of over 80%, which has reduced now to 50%. I know that sounds very, weird and, overly optimistic. But I believe that the crashes are going to happen even in the future because the nature of the market is such that the entire world's, economics and policies and decision making affects the market, right? It's not just one country. So that volatility is going to take some time to go away.
Right. And so Naimish, thank you for enlightening us on this, and that's excellent that you've been following this from 5 years. I don't reveal how many years I've been tracking markets because that will make me feel quite old. But it's great that you have 5 years experience. experience. My point is that cryptos were supposed to not align with global markets. Ajeet Khurana, I want you to answer this question. Today, this is like a big red card for investors. You know, that the gravy train can end very, very quickly, isn't it? Would you now tell new investors to come in with a SIP model?
Just two quick things. First of all, you rightly said that if investors don't even understand what is the underlying that they are investing into, then focusing on what price or SIP or averaging strategy to come in is irrelevant. I would strongly advise new investors that if you don't really get what you're getting into, don't get into it. I think simply that, right? Experimentally, you want to put like 100 rupees, 500 rupees. Obviously, that's not what I'm talking about. But the best thing to do would be to educate yourself. As far as this thing being a red card or a bloodbath, which is also red in color, my recommendation would be that if you look at any 2 years, literally any 2 years, crypto has never had a lower price than the previous. That almost sounds like an apology for the crash. And I'm completely unabashedly unapologetic. I think that if markets go up, and if we were to claim that these markets are non-correlated and we actually detect a very strong correlation with liquidity in the market, that means the crypto markets are immature compared to what we wanted them to be. And it's a fact. Why deny that fact? If you're a new investor, I would say that do not automatically assume that because the price is 50% less than it used to be, it's an attractive price. I know people who purchased crypto yesterday, as in literally yesterday, thinking the price was very attractive, and those tokens have fallen dramatically today compared to yesterday. So completely agreed with you. Whether it's crypto or anything else, the basic common sense of investment does not change.
Yeah. Well, you have to understand what you're investing in. Crypto is not equal to gold, equal to real estate, equal to equity. So you should know the nature of the beast before you aim to tame it. Thank you for that, Ajeet and Naimish.